Do a quick check-in. See what you're feeling. It can be a sensation in the body. Maybe it's an emotion or a feeling. But just connect. Check in. And know that whatever you're feeling will pass. And as it comes back, you'll be ready to sit with it just like you are right now, knowing that it will pass once again. And whether you're laying down or sitting, lengthen your spine gently. So if you're sitting, you'll feel those sitting bones grounding down as you lengthen the spine gently up towards the ceiling. If you're laying down, you might feel that spine kind of lengthening, coming closer down towards the mat. Slight tilt maybe through the pelvic, tucking of the chin. Then begin to soften the face, letting go of tension in the forehead, letting the eyes just be softly closed, and the eye movement slowing down. And then really relaxing the jaw, creating some space between that top and bottom row of teeth. Relax the shoulders down and away from the ears. And let your hands and feet soften if they're gripping or tightening. And now begin to connect with your breath. Noticing that natural breath in, that natural breath out. Maybe the gentle movements of the body with the breath. Or maybe even noticing the temperature as the breath enters and exits through the nose. Now begin to deepen and lengthen that breath. Your next inhale becoming deeper, and the exhale deep as well. Just really letting go and really allowing a deep breath to come back into the body. And as you're deepening that breath, make sure the shoulders are still relaxed, the jaw is still softened. As you're deepening that breath, see if you can take it all the way down into the deepest part of your belly. Let it swirl around and come all the way back out. At the end of your next breath, start to create a little bit of core by drawing the navel up and back towards the spine. As you engage the abdominals here, make sure your shoulders didn't come back up, keep them soft, that jaw is relaxed. And see if you can come back to a deepened breath with this little bit of engagement in place. One more deep breath, and then draw your hands into a prayer position. The palms coming together, thumb creases finding the chest. If it's too much for the shoulders, it's okay to press the hands against the chest. Take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out, and begin to set your intention for today's practice. Find a word, a phrase, maybe a dedication or a Sankapa resolve. Do not feel rushed. Once you have found your intention, repeat it back to yourself 3 times. Once you're done, release the hands and open the eyes back to the room. Take a moment, try not to get distracted by the things inside the room. And when you're ready, if you're seated, just come down and into a laying position. And as you come down to lay, just make sure that you have space. So move any props that might be in your way. Start by drawing the knees in towards your chest. Wrap the arms around those legs. You can give yourself a little squeeze. You can even lift the head up for that first little stretch, but then release the head down. And give yourself a little rock side to side, noticing the muscles as they come on and off of the mat. Keep breathing. Don't hold that breath. And then slow the movement coming back to center, coming to stillness. Tuck the chin in a little bit. Relax the shoulders. Engage the feet as though you're pressing against a wall. Now you can keep your hands on the knees or draw them out to a T. If you draw them out to a T, just make sure that you're not drawing them up too high or down too low, but just a nice straight line from the finger into the shoulder, from the other shoulder out to the other finger. Create a little bit of core engagement, drawing that low back down towards the mat. And start to go in a circle with those knees around the hips. Notice your effort. Notice your ease. It's where you might have to kind of engage the core a little bit more, and in that moment when it's easier and you can release. Try to keep the shoulders grounded down towards the mat. And try to keep that jaw relaxed. One more circle. As those knees come around the hips, be aware of which direction you were going in. When they come back to center, re-engage, realign, and go in the opposite direction. And if you get lost, just go the way that feels comfortable and then switch it up. But again, check in, find your effort through the feet, through the core. Find your ease, try to soften the hands, the shoulders, the jaw. Keep the breathing deep. One more circle around the hips. And when the knees come back to center, pause there. You can draw the arms back around those knees and lift the head up for that little stretch if you would like. But then release the head and wrap the arm around the left knee, drawing the left leg down and onto the mat. So as the hands are around the right knee, the left leg is lengthened. Engage the feet so they're pressing against a wall. Soften the shoulders, check in. Draw them down and away from the ears, down towards the mat as well. Inhale, lift your right foot up, reach your arms up towards the ceiling so they're stretching up. And then exhale, lengthen the leg onto the mat to meet the left and reach the arms up and overhead. Now you're in a position where you can do a full body stretch. Your whole body's on the mat. So reach the hands back, point the toes away from the body. And then exhale, engage the feet. Draw the left knee in, wrap your arms around that leg. As you do, re-engage your feet, relax the shoulders. And then inhale, lift the foot and the arms up towards the ceiling. Feel that stretch up. And then exhale, lengthen the body. So the leg is on the mat, the arms are behind you, and then full body stretch here. Point the toes, reach those arms back. Then exhale, engage the feet, draw that right knee in, arms wrapped around. You're going to do this a few rounds. You'll draw the knee in, then lengthen the arms and that foot up towards the ceiling, and then lengthen the body down onto the mat. Once the whole body is on the mat, you can give yourself a full body stretch. And when you're done, you'll re-engage the feet and draw the opposite leg in to wrap those arms around. Keep breathing deep and keep checking in to what you're feeling and what's happening. If you get lost, just pause and come back to the movement. Good. The next time the right knee comes in, pause. You can draw the knee in with the hands. You can even lift the head up towards that knee for a little extra effort through the core. Keep drawing that core in and breathe deep. If the head wants to be on the mat, though, let it be on the mat. One more deep breath, and then lift the leg up, reach the arms up, let the head relax. Feel the stretch up. Breathe deep. One more deep breath, and then lengthen the body, full body stretch. Good. When you're ready, opposite side, draw the left knee in, engage the feet. You can lift the head up if you would like, but you do not have to. Engage the core. And breathe deep. One more deep breath. Relax the head as the foot comes up towards the ceiling. The arms reach up. Feel the stretch. Tuck the chin. It's okay if the shoulders are off the mat. Breathe deep. One more deep breath and then lengthen the body back on the mat. Full body stretch one last time. Good. Then draw the arms out at T. Bend the knees and walk the feet wide so they find the long edges of your mat. You're setting up for windshield wipes. Tuck the chin in, relax the jaw, spread the hands but don't grip the hand. Take a deep breath in, exhale, lower your knees to the right, and if it feels comfortable, gaze over to the left. Breathe deep. Using your core, draw your knees and your head back up to center. Make sure feet are still wide, core is still slightly engaged, and shoulders are relaxed. Lower knees now to the left on the exhale and gaze over towards that right hand, right shoulder, if that feels good to you. If it's too much, head can always stay at center. And use your core, come back to your center. And just begin to flow with these movements. Exhaling, you'll gently lower the knees to one side. And inhale, you'll gently draw them back up to center. Keep breathing deep. And keep checking into what you're feeling and what's happening. Make those subtle adjustments you need at center. Next time your knees come to the right, come into a place of stillness. And check in, make sure you're not gripping the hands. The shoulders are relaxed and grounding down towards the mat. The jaw is softened. The core is slightly engaged. And maybe a little bit of thigh engagement is in place as well. One more deep breath. Come back up to center. As you come back to center, realign, re-engage, and adjust. And when you're ready, knees bend to the left, gaze over to the right. And again, just check in. Make sure the hands aren't gripping, shoulders are grounding down, jaw is softened, core slightly engaged, and maybe a little thigh engagement. Keep breathing deep. One more deep breath and come back to center. As you come back to center, walk the feet closer together and draw the knees in, wrap the arms around, give yourself a little hug if you want, then release the head. If you want a quick rock side to side, you can do that. But when you're ready, either wrap the ankles over to rock up or roll to one side to come on up. Once you come up, if you're having sensitive knees, grab a blanket or use your mat to add extra padding, but then come to hands and knees, the easiest way for you. As you come to hands and knees, just check in and make sure your knees are underneath of the hips, the wrists are underneath of the shoulders, the feet are grounded down onto the mat. Spread the hands, create nice grounding up through those shoulders. Create a little bit of core. Deep breath in. Exhale, then tuck the chin around the spine. Push away from the mat with the hand. Good. Now start to draw the shoulders together in the opposite direction. So they start to draw together. The chest starts to kind of come down a little bit. Use your core. Then exhale, tuck the chin, round the spine. Push those shoulders away from each other. Good. So this is cat and cow. Just begin to do a few rounds of this, drawing the shoulders together gently. And exhaling, gently rounding, drawing them away. Good. Breathe deep. Good. One more time. And when you tuck the chin this next time, slowly start to draw your hips down towards your heels into your child's pose. Letting the head rest as close to the mat as it can. Maybe even using the hands or arms underneath to rest the head onto, or maybe it comes down onto the mat. Soften the shoulders, don't hold the arms up. Take 2 deep breaths here. At the end of that second breath, come back up to hands and knees. Once you're back at hands and knees, just make sure you're back in your foundation, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Good. Now shift your weight over to the left and start to draw that right leg back behind you. As you do, the toe may want to be down for a quick little curl to stretch out the leg. That's okay, but then lift that leg up towards the ceiling. Toe pointing down, heel up. Check in with the hips. Sometimes our hip wants to open, but see if you can square the hips, kind of drawing that right hip down a little bit. Good. Now bend the knee. As you do, then draw the knee in towards the chest, round the spine. Tuck that chin in towards that leg. Keep finding the balance and the weight. Don't draw it all the way over to the left. Good. Engage the core. Lengthen that right leg back behind you. Keep having the toe point down. Begin to flow through this movement, bending the knee, drawing it in towards the chest. Find your balance equally from side to side. Then lengthen the leg gently back. Again, finding that balance, squaring the hips. Keep using the core here. Breathe deep. If you need to come down to forearms at any moment, that's okay. There's always an option if the wrists get tired. The next time the leg comes back, pause. Then see if you can shift your weight to the right. And maybe you walk your fingertips forward of the left hand. Maybe you feel good here. You can always reach the arm up if you want a little extra effort. But find your balance equally from side to side. Reaching and lengthening, but also lifting, using that core. Gaze gently down. Good. Hand to the mat, knee to the mat, child's pose. Tuck the chin, round the spine. Release those wrists, roll them out. And breathe deep. Good. Lengthen the arms, come back up to hands and knees. Find your foundation, wrist under shoulders, knees under hips. You're going to shift your weight now over to your right side. Lengthen that left leg back behind you. Again, if you want to curl the toes, that first little stretch, it's okay. But then lift the foot up, toe pointing down, heel up. Draw the core in. Make sure that you feel grounded, that you feel balanced from side to side. Once you feel that, bend the knee. Draw the knee in towards the chest, round the spine. Now don't draw all your weight to the right. Find the balance equally in that weight. And draw the leg back behind you. Again, square the hips, toe pointing down, draw the core. Good. Then bend the knee, draw it in. You know what to do. You did this on the other side, but just keep checking in with those little subtle things. And flow through these movements. Notice what you're feeling. Good. The next time the leg lengthens, pause. Find your effort, re-engage the core, shift the weight to the left, and maybe walk those fingers forward with the right hand. You can stay there. Maybe you want to reach the arm up. As you're lengthening through the arms and the foot, reach up and use your core. Find your balance equally from left and right. Good. Draw the hand down, draw the knee down, go back into a child's pose. Roll out those wrists if you need to, and just breathe. One more deep breath, and come back up to hands and knees. From hands and knees, find that foundation once again, wrists under shoulders and knees under hips. Engage the core. This time, start to curl the toes onto the mat. As you do, shift the weight back a little bit, then hover the knees up, use your core, and then lift into down dog. Drawing those hips up, chest back. Find distance between the feet and the hands. Don't feel like you have to be close together. Creating a nice upside down V. Good. Pedal out those heels if you need a little release. Then when you're ready, gaze forward at your hands and either hop or walk the feet to meet the hands so you come into a forward fold. Good. As you come into a forward fold, just check in. Make sure your feet are underneath of the hips and they're parallel with each other in the mat. Begin to spread and lift the toes and then release the toes down so you're feeling both the inner and the outer edges of your feet. A little bend in the knee is okay. Soften the shoulders, relax the neck. Inhale, come up to a nice flat back, drawing the shoulder blades together, gazing gently down, lengthening from the tailbone out through your head. And exhale, release back down into those legs. Now bend both knees, sink your hips down and back. Chest starts to peel off those thighs as the arms come to frame the ears. But engage the core so you're protecting the low back. Then inhale, push up as the arms come around and into prayer. From prayer, reach those arms back up and overhead. Engage the core, tilt the pelvic here, come into a slight back bend if it feels good, if it's there for you. And then exhale, fold back into those legs, letting the arms relax back down. Soften out the shoulders and the neck. Don't hold any tension. Good. Come up to a half, that half lift, that flat back, drawing shoulders together. And then exhale, fold back into those legs. Start to come back in a chair, bending your knees, sinking the hips down and back, chest peeling up, arms to frame. Engage the thighs, but not to fully touch. Draw the core in. Good. Then come on up to stand as arms come around and into prayer. From prayer, reach those arms back up and overhead. Tilt the pelvic, slight back bend if it's there for you. And then exhale, slowly fold back into the legs, letting those arms and head just relax. No need to hold any tension or hold anything up. One more time. Come up to your half lift, flat back. Gently release into those legs. Bend the knees, sinking the hips down and back, chest peeling up, arms to frame, thighs slightly engaged, core really engaged. And come on up to stand as arms come into prayer. From prayer, reach those arms back up and overhead. Use your core, tilt the pelvic, slight back bend if it's there for you. And then exhale, fold back into your legs. Good. Take a second to just notice how different you may feel in this fold than that first fold. Maybe you're like, oh, my hands come down just a little bit easier. Good. Now, shift your weight over to the left. As you do, make sure you're bending your hands or bending your knees so the hands come down the best they can. Then draw the right leg back behind you. Now check in. Make sure your knee's not tracking over the ankle. If it is, draw that back foot back a little bit or kind of heel toe and walk that front foot forward. You want to have a nice 90 degree. So we're setting up in the lunge. Make sure the back heel is flipped up. Find your balance here by drawing those thighs together. Engaging the core. Draw the hand onto that top thigh. Now if you feel balanced on the floor, stay there. If you feel balanced here, stay here. Then draw hands onto hips. Use your core, keep drawing the thighs together. Good. If you feel balanced, draw the arms up to frame the ears. As the arms come up to frame the ears, draw the core in. Little movement with the front knee, begin to straighten that leg, but keep that back heel lifted. Good. Then bend the front knee. Good. Straighten that leg. Then bend the knee. This time hinge forward, draw the hand down onto the mat. Bend the back knee down onto the mat. You can keep the toe curled or uncurl the toe, but begin to slowly walk the hands back so you get to stretch this leg in the front. Lift the toes up if it's there for you. Try not to come all the way back to sit, but just kind of finding balance equally from side to side. Good, then coming back into that low lunge where the knee is bent. Curl the back toe, lift it up, and then hop it to meet the front foot. Good, so now you're back in your forward fold. Check in with the feet. Then your little wiggle, that's okay. Sometimes it feels good. Soften out the shoulders. You're gonna shift your weight over now to the right. Bend those knees as much as you need so the hands come down. Then draw the left foot back behind you. Again, making sure you're not drawing the knee over the ankle, but creating that nice 90 degree. Keep that back heel lifted even though you're trying to ground the heel down. Find balance from the front foot into the back, drawing the thighs together. And when you feel balanced, hand on that top thigh. If you feel better down there, stay down below. Then hands on the hips when you begin to feel balanced here again. Finding balance equally from the feet, thighs together, core engaged. And arms can come up to frame. Breathe deep. Straighten the front leg. Then bend that knee. Keep using your core. Go as slow as you need to. Straighten that leg. Good. Bend the knee. When you bend the knee, gently hinge forward. Hands come back down to the floor. Then draw that back knee down onto the mat. Again, you can keep the toe curled or uncurled, but slowly walk the hands back so you start to stretch the front leg. Lift the toes up. Find balance equally from side to side. Don't put all that weight to the left. Don't come all the way down to sit. Breathe. Good. Then walk it forward. Curl the back toe. Lift the leg. Come to meet that front leg. So now you're back in your forward fold. Pedal out those legs if they need it. We're going to do that just a few times on both sides. So when you're ready, we're going to do just a quick little half sun salutation, which you had done before we went into the lunging. So when you're ready, come up to that flat back. Then fold back into those legs. Come into chair, bending those knees, sinking hips down, chest peeling up, arms to frame. Use your core. Then come on up to stand. Arms around and into prayer. Breathe deep. Notice how it feels to come back up to stand. Then draw the arms back up and overhead. Come into that slight back bend if it feels good. Use your core, tilt the pelvic. Then fold back into your legs. Good. Now shift your weight to the right. Draw the left leg back behind you. Good. Find your balance equally. Begin to use your core. Draw your hand onto that top thigh. Then hands on the hips. And arms up to frame. Go as slow as you need to. Do not feel rushed. Find your balance. Drawing the core in, straighten the leg. Now bend the knee. As you bend the knee this time, bend your elbows. So it kind of comes out to a goddess, a goalpost, or a cactus. Good. Then lift the arms and lengthen the leg. One more time, goddess, and bend the elbow, or bend the knee. Good. Then hinge forward, hand onto the mat. Walk that back knee down. Uncurl the toe if that feels good. And then walk the hands back. So you start to lift that front foot forward. And make sure you find your balance equally. Don't go all the way to one side. Good. Breathe. And come forward, bending that knee, curling the back toe, lift the knee up, and hop the foot to meet that front foot. Any little wiggle you might need to the legs, do so. All right, switch the weight. Right foot now comes back behind you. Make sure you have that 90-degree in that front knee. Find your balance, use your core, hand onto that top thigh. Then hand on the hips. Then arms up to frame. Again, go as slow as you need. Do not feel rushed. Use your core. Begin to straighten the leg. Keep the arms lifted. Keep using that core. Bend the knee. Draw the arms out to goddess. Good. Lengthen the arm. Lengthen the leg. Good. Exhale. Bend the knee. Draw the arms out to goddess. And gently hinge forward, hands on the mat. Bend that back knee down. When you're ready, walk the hands back. Give yourself that stretch that feels good. Lifting the toes, but make sure you're not pulling all that weight to one side. Find it equally. Breathe. Good. Then come forward, bending that knee. Curl the toe, lift it up, and hop it to meet that front leg. Good. Wiggle out those legs if you need to. Good. Notice how they're feeling. This will be the last round. So first we're going to do that half sun. Come up to a flat back. And gently come down. Come into chair, bending knees, sinking hips down and back, chest peeling up, arms to frame. Draw the core in. Then come on up to stand as arms come into prayer. From prayer, reach those arms back up and overhead. Use your core, tilt the pelvic, slight back bend if it's there for you. And then fold into your legs. Good. Any little movement you might need to release any tension, do so. And then shift your weight over to the right. Draw the left foot back behind you. Find your lunge, find your distance, find that front knee being in that perfect alignment. When you feel balanced and ready, slowly start to come up. Do not feel rushed. Just find equal distribution, pushing from front foot into back. Keep drawing the core in, straighten the front leg. Keep those arms lengthened, but soften the shoulders. Good, bend the knee, bend the elbows. Keep drawing the core in, lengthen the arms, lengthen the leg. Good, bend the knee, bend the elbow. One more round, lengthen and lift. Bend and sink. Good, one more time, lengthen and pause. Be here for 3 deep breaths. At the end of that 3rd breath, bend knee and bend elbows. Keep finding distance or balance from the front foot into the back. Keep using the core. 3 deep breaths. At the end of that 3rd breath, draw the hands down to the mat. Give yourself that little stretch again. Draw that back knee down, uncurl the toe or keep the toe curled. Then walk the hands back, lifting the toe. Find balance equally, so it's almost like you're squaring those hips to the mat. Draw the shoulders down and breathe deep. One more deep breath, and come back into that low lunge by bending the front knee. Then curl the toe, lift the knee, and hop it forward. Then the feet are back with one another. Wiggle them out if you need to, but just make sure they're back in alignment underneath of the hips. Shift your weight now to the left and draw that right foot back behind you. Find your distance. Make sure that front knee is not tracking. Use your core. Begin to slowly come up into this high lunge when you're ready. Take your time and do not feel rushed. Breathe deep, find your balance. Straighten that front leg, lengthen the arms. Keep drawing the core in. Bend the elbows, bend the knee. Keep using the core. Lengthen the arms, lengthen the leg. Good, a few more times. Bend the elbow, bend the knee. Lengthen the arms, lengthen the leg. Bend the elbows, bend the knee. Last time, as you lengthen, pause. Find your balance, use your core. Breathe deep, 3 deep breaths. At the end of that 3rd breath, you'll bend knee and elbows. 3 deep breaths here. Keep using that core. At the end of that breath, you'll gently hinge forward, hands onto the mat. Draw that back knee down, uncurl the toe or keep them curled, it's up to you. Then walk the hands back to lift that top, the front foot forward, kind of those toes lifting up. Now the weight sometimes wants to go to one side, try to balance out that weight. Try to draw the shoulders away from the ears and breathe deep. One more deep breath. Then slowly come forward, bending that front knee, curling the back toe, lifting that back knee, and then drawing that foot to meet the front. Wiggle out those legs. Good. One more half sun, come up to a flat back. Fold back into the legs. Come into chair, bending knees, sinking hips down and back, chest peeling up, arms to frame, use your core. Then come on up to stand. As arms come around and into prayer. Good. From prayer, reach the arms up and overhead. Come into that slight back bend if it's there for you, using the core and tilting the pelvic. And then fold back into those legs. Good. Soften where you need to. Then bend your knees a little bit more so hands come down to the mat. Start to walk the feet back one at a time so you come into your downward dog. Give yourself distance. Release any tension you might be holding on to. Good. Then draw the knees gently down onto the mat. Good. Now begin to walk the hands forward a little bit here. And then bend the elbows. Draw the chest down towards the mat as you lengthen the legs behind you. Good. Give yourself any room that you need on your mat. Hands by the chest, elbows up. Engage the core. Make sure you're pushing the tops of the feet into the mat so that they're grounded down. Begin to hover the hands, then lift the head and chest up along with it. Half cobra. Draw those shoulders together. Breathe. Exhale. Slowly release. Good. Inhale. Use your core. Start to hover those hands. Lift the head and chest. Push those tops of the feet into the mat. Breathe deep. And slowly release back down. All right, last time. Hover the hands. Lift the head and chest. Breathe. One more. Really lift, draw those shoulders, and then slowly release. Good. Then lift yourself gently up to hands and knees and go into a child's pose of your choice, which just means you can draw the knees a little bit wide if that feels comfortable for you. Breathe deep. Arms can come in whatever direction feels good. Head can even go in whatever direction feels good. Just make sure that you switch up your direction with the head. Gazing both ways. Good. Lengthen those arms. Come back up to hands and knees. Good. All right. Slowly begin to walk towards your legs. As you do, you lift up. Good. Now, you're at the short edge of your mat. If you need to, you can come back down, but sometimes it's easy just to kind of slowly rotate over to the long side. All right. Come kind of to the middle of the mat so that you have a little more room on both sides. Good. Knees are underneath of the hips. Feet are on the floor, or if you have a blanket, you can draw it underneath if it's more comfortable. Sorry if you don't have one near you. All right. Slowly bring your hands to your hips. Use your core. Slowly shift your weight over to the left so you can draw the right leg out and onto the mat. Good. Sometimes it's a hop. Sometimes it's a little bit of a, I don't know what you'd call it, like a drag. Use your core. Push into the leg, that foot, that outer edge for the pinky and the heel. Good. Now draw your arms out at T. Big old smile. All right. This right arm comes onto the right leg. Lift up with the left, but draw the shoulder back. Good. So now we're kind of stretching out the sides since we really stretched out the front body. Come back out at T. This arm is slowly going to be coming down. Use your core, use your core. Fingertips will probably find the floor first. Good. Reach up with that top arm, draw the shoulder back a little bit. Keep pushing into the foot. Good. Use your core, come onto fingertips or slowly walk it to the hip, whatever is easiest, and slowly come back up. Good. Some of you are like, it's not that easy. It just takes practice. This right arm comes onto the leg, reach out with this opposite arm, but draw the shoulder back. Good. Come back out at T. Come over to the opposite side, slowly. Good. Breathe. Keep drawing the opposite shoulder back. Easiest way for you, slowly come back out at T. Good. Last round. As you come over to this right leg, pause. 3 deep breaths. Good. Then you'll come back out at T. All right, slowly, the easiest way for you, come on down with this arm, reach up with the opposite, but draw it back a little bit. Keep pushing into that foot though. Don't let it just hang out. Breathe, 3 deep breaths. Good. Now take this top arm, slowly draw it down to the floor, and begin to walk to center with both hands. Good, so you're gonna feel a different stretch through that leg when you come to center. If you're pushing into that outer edge, you should. Now slowly draw the foot and the knee back onto the floor. Now lift the opposite. I just tried to make it a little easier to come into the position and come on up. All right, push into that opposite foot. Sometimes it feels awkward at first. Use your core. Good, draw the arms out at T. All right, left arm onto left leg. Reach up with that right arm, draw the shoulder back. Breathe. Good, come back out at T. Use your core. Slowly, slowly, slowly start to draw the hand down to the mat, to the floor. Fingertips maybe first, then palm. Draw that shoulder back. Keep pushing into the foot. Use your core, the easiest way for you to come out. Come on up. Good, opposite. Breathe, keep drawing that shoulder back. Good, come back out at T. Slowly come down. Keep pushing into that opposite foot. Breathe, draw the shoulder back. Good, come on up. Last round. So we're coming into stillness. As the arm comes onto the leg, draw that opposite shoulder back and breathe deep, 3 deep breaths. Good, come back out at T. When you're ready, opposite. Do not feel rushed. 3 deep breaths. When you get here, keep pushing into that opposite leg. Draw that opposite shoulder back. At the end of the breath, the hand comes down first, slowly walking it over so you can draw that leg back. And then you just kind of rotate onto the mat and go into a child's pose of your choice. Either knees wide or knees together, but notice how that feels. Your side body's been stretched, your legs have been stretched, your shoulders have been stretched. You have been stretched from head to toe. Take 1 deep, deep, deep breath in through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth, and you're going to hear it because that breath's going to hit the mat. Then come on up to hands and knees. Good. Knees back underneath the hips. And then the easiest way for you, Come back to a seated posture. From that seated posture, lengthen the legs out in front of you. Use your core here a little bit. Either hands can help to lower you, or the arms could be out here, but just begin to lower onto the mat. Good. As you lower onto the mat, set up for windshield wipes. Arms out at T, feet wide. Create a straight line from the fingers into the shoulders, from the other shoulder out through the other finger. As the feet come wide, spread and lift those toes, and then release the toes back down. Draw the core in, feel that low back coming down. So you might even feel a tilt through the pelvic, and that's okay. Deep breath in. Exhale, knees to the right, gaze over to the left. Now, if you're looking for an extra little stretch here, take your bottom foot, which is your right foot, draw it onto that left thigh. Breathe deep. If you feel any pain in the knee, ease up, draw the foot back down to the mat, and just stay in windshield wipe. Good. One more deep breath, then the foot comes to the floor, then the knees come back up to center. Realign, readjust, re-engage. Then knees lower over to the left this time. And that bottom foot, which is the left foot, can come onto the top thigh. If it feels good, you can gaze to the right and breathe deep. Good. Release the foot first, and the knees come back up to center, head back to center. And just add this in going side to side if that feels good to you, but know that you do not have to. So on the exhale, you'll lower to one side, and that bottom foot can always come onto that top thigh. But if it's too much, listen to it and just stay in windshield wipes. And you'll always lower the foot down first before coming back to center. The next time you come over to the right, come into a place of stillness. Be there for about 3 to 5 deep breaths. And when you come back to center, stay there for about 2 breaths. And the next side, 3 to 5. And never feel rushed, but once you have done both sides equally, just come back to center, stay there for a few breaths. Good. Then at this time, if there's any last movements your body is craving or needing, please allow yourself those movements. Maybe you want to do some more windshield wipes. Maybe you want to do anything you've done in a previous class or anything we've done today. Maybe you want to do a quick little half sun just to get yourself ready. Whatever you need, just honor your body. Listen to it. When you're ready for Shavasana, again, don't feel rushed to get here, but allow yourself to settle in, to set up. So if the feet are cold or the body's cold, you need a blanket, allow yourself. If you need an eye pillow for the head and you have one near you, just allow yourself to grab it and put it over the eyes. But let your body get really comfortable here. So maybe the feet come a little bit away, the arms come a little bit away, and the palms face up. Relax the head, maybe a quick little rock side to side, quick tucking of the chin just to kind of release the neck and let it come into a neutral place. Soften the jaw. Close the eyes when you feel ready. And take a deep breath in through the nose and a deep sigh out through the mouth. And just digest your practice. Enjoy your Shavasana, your final resting pose. And I'll call you out when it's time. Begin to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Keep the eyes closed for now. And begin to wiggle fingers and toes, slowly stretching out the body, awakening. And when you're ready to roll over onto one side, slightly bend the knees, roll over, and use that bottom arm to help hold the head. And just stay here on your side. Take a few deep breaths. Now slowly roll back onto your back. Keep the eyes closed. And you're just going to roll to the opposite side. Use that bottom arm to cradle the head. Stay here for a few deep breaths. Use the top arm to push into the floor and lift on up. Come to a seated posture. And keep the eyes closed for just a few more moments. Let your hands come to prayer. From prayer, let the thumbs come to the chest. A little bit of a bow to the hands. Take a deep breath in, a deep breath out. And come back to that intention that you set at the very beginning. And to know it's always with you. You can access it whenever you need. It's there. And I am truly grateful and thankful that you allowed me to guide you. The light in me sees that same beautiful divine light in you. We are connected. We are one. Namaste.